Hi everybody, I'm back. Okay, really quickly before we jump right into this video, let me start with just a couple disclaimers. One, am I like weeks late to this video? Yes. Everybody has filmed their 2025 reading wrap-ups in like the first few days of January, and it's like the 13th. Listen, I'm new, give me a break. Two, I unfortunately am not one of the girlies who was able to read 110 books last year. I wish I was. Maybe one day I will get there, but unfortunately I was not. I actually had 4 months of the 12 in the year where I did not read a single book. In February, April, May, and June, I did not touch a book in any of those 4 months. It happens, okay? It happens. And so I read 15 books last year. One of them was a novella, but it counts all the same. But I thought this could be fun to see what I read last year. It's a fun video idea. And then this year, I'm hoping to read way more. It's only January and I'm already doing way better on the reading goal this year. So I thought it would be fun to see the progress in 2026's reading wrap up versus 2025's. So that is why we're doing this video, even though I'm 2 weeks late. And last disclaimer, and then we will start. I enjoyed every single one of these books. So if you clicked on this thinking you were gonna find books that I DNF'd or I rated 1 star, unfortunately you're not gonna find that here. I purposely read books that I knew I would like, or I was very sure that I would like, and I liked them all. This year I do want to expand what I read a little bit more, so maybe we'll have some lower rated books, we'll see, but from 2025, I did love all of these books. That is enough disclaimers. Let's get into the books that I read this year. The very first book that I read in 2025 was Salem's Lot by Stephen King. This book is, I think, like 640-ish pages. I love this book. I read my very first Stephen King books in 2024. Like, I think October 2024, I read The Shining. And then I read Carrie, and then I read this one in January of 2025, and I love this book. If you know me at all, I am a vampire girl through and through. I love vampires. I love any book or movie about vampires, so this book, so good. And I really like Stephen King's writing. He is very, like, you get immersed in the story so easily. The next book I read is by my all-time favorite author, and that is The Reappearance of Rachel Price. I also read this in January 2025. I believe this book came out sometime in 2024, but I was desperate to get the paperback because all of my other Holly Jackson books are paperback, so I had to wait to get this one. So it took a while to get here, but oh my goodness, it was worth it. It actually has a bookmark in it right now because my dad is reading it, and he is also loving it. But this book is so good. It is about this girl whose mom disappeared 16 years ago. Yes, 16 years ago, and they are filming a documentary about the disappearance of Rachel Price, and while they're filming the documentary about her disappearing, she reappears. Like, she just shows up at their house while they're filming this documentary after being gone for 16 years. It is crazy. It is insane. Holly Jackson is my favorite author ever. The endings of her books, absolutely insane, and this one has, I think, the craziest plot twist, like, craziness ending ever. I need everybody to read this book. I love it. And if it means anything, Holly Jackson herself said that she thinks this is her best work. So go read. The next book that I read was in March. Again, I did not read a book in February. It happens. But the one that I read in March was my most anticipated read and also my favorite read of the year, and that is Sunrise on the Reaping. If you haven't read this book yet, what are you doing? Go pick it up. This book, I have been waiting for a Haymitch book since I read the first Hunger Games book when I was younger. I was like, Haymitch is my favorite character. He's been my favorite character. And especially after seeing that little clip of his games in Catching Fire, I wanted a Haymitch book so badly. I got it. I cried so much. I actually do have a reading vlog on this. It was on my other channel, but I will try to link it in my description if you would like to watch. But this book was everything. It was so worth the wait. My favorite book of the year. And I cannot wait to see the movie this year. I know they're gonna crush it. Like, just from the trailer alone, It's gonna be so good. The next book I read was the start of my favorite series that I read this year, and that was The Naturals. And while we're here, I read this book, and then I read the second book, and then I read the third one, and then I read the fourth one, and at the end of this fourth book, there is a novella. It is called 12, if I could find it. It is called 12. It is included in the back of the fourth book, and it is a little novella about the main characters years after the ending of the last book. But you guys, this series, oh, I almost dropped them. This series is one of my new favorite series ever. Like, I kept seeing this series in Barnes & Noble every time I went, and every time I was like, I want to read that, but I kept putting it off for whatever reason, and then I finally got the first book. When I tell you, this reading slump, over. Because I didn't read in February. I read Sunrise on the Reaping when it came out in March, and then April, May, June, I did not touch a single book. In July, I picked up the first book in the series, flew through that book, flew through the second, third, fourth, the novella, and then have not entered another reading slump since. Like, knock on wood, I don't want to, but that first book in this series kicked me out of that reading slump. I read this series and then I just kept reading and haven't stopped since. So thank you, Jennifer Lynn Barnes, for the masterpiece that is the Natural series. The series follows 5 teenagers who have sort of superpowers, and they are recruited by the FBI to help solve cold cases. And I can't say too much without giving away like a major plot point that comes up later in the series, but this series gets crazy. This is a bold statement, but I think this might be my favorite found family in a book ever. Crazy statement, I know, but The Naturals found family, my favorite found family book ever. So, and then after I finished the Natural series, I was a little worried that I would enter a reading slump just because it was so good, and then when it ended, I was so sad. But fortunately, I didn't, and I think that is only because the book I read after was just as good, and that is Not Quite Dead Yet, also by Holly Jackson. This book came out in 2025. It is in hardback. I know that I went on about how I wanted all of her books in paperback, but I couldn't wait to get this one in paperback. And tell me why paperback was like $15 more than the hardback everywhere I checked. Don't know what that's about. But this book, I think this book and Sunrise on the Reaping are the two that I cried over the most in 2025. If you know, you know. This book is perfect. It is Holly Jackson's very first adult novel. It is a mystery thriller, and it follows Belle, who on Halloween night, she gets attacked, and they tell her, like, you have a very bad brain injury, you're gonna die in 7 days. And she spends those 7 days solving her own murder. This book was crazy. Again, Holly Jackson, queen of plot twists. The ending of this book will probably stay with me forever. I'll insert the picture from when I finished this book. I was going through it, but this book is amazing and everything, and go read this as well. The next book was another series that I started that I honestly didn't think I would like as much as I did, and that is The Fine Print. This is the first book in the Dreamland Billionaire series, and again, I bought this book probably like a year or two ago before I started reading it. And I bought it with my friend because I was like, oh, I've heard good things about that. I kind of want to read it. And she was like, just buy it. And I was like, I don't know. She made me buy it. It sat on my shelf for like a year, going unread. And then I was like, you know what? I should read that. Picked it up, immediately obsessed. Rowan and Zara, I love them. I'm still thinking about them. I bought the second book maybe halfway through this one because I was like, I know I need it. And I was right. This book, the series follows 3 brothers, and they own a theme park called Dreamland. It's basically Disneyland. And each book follows a brother. They each have there's an inheritance from their grandfather, and they each have like a mission to complete in order to earn their inheritance. So it follows that, but there's also so much more that goes on. And again, I thought, I was like, it'll be a fun, cute little read. This series like took over. I still can't stop thinking about it. So very good. If you also have this book sitting on your shelf, this is your sign to read it. After The Fine Print, like I said, I ordered the second book halfway through, but I ended up reading that so fast that it wasn't here as soon as I finished, so I ended up reading a different book. once again, I'm so glad that I did, because this is also one of my favorites from the year. And I feel like I've said that for like every book, but this one, Divine Rivals. This book, let me tell you, I started reading this actually in 2024, and I got like maybe like 5 chapters in, and for some reason I soft DNF'd it. Don't know why, I just like wasn't feeling it. I was like, I'm not DNFing it, but I just don't want to read it right now. I put it down, didn't touch it for like a year, maybe a little over a year. I picked it up and I flew through this book, you guys. I thought this was so good. I cannot believe that I soft DNF'd it at one point. I think this is another crazy statement, but I think Iris and Roman might be my favorite book couple ever. Actually, that's a lie. My favorite book couple ever is Katniss and Peeta. But after Katniss and Peeta, Roman and Iris, they might be it. They really might be it. I have the second book. Oh, wrong shelf. I have the second book on my shelf. I literally got it like 2 days ago in the mail. And that is my next read. I am so excited because if you know, this book, the ending of this book, I'm scared to read the next one. After Divine Rivals, I read The Love Hypothesis. I was so excited for this book, and let me tell you, it lived up. I know, it's a controversial book. Some people love it, some people hate it, some people think it's bad. I loved it. I thought it was cute. I signed up for a cute, cheesy romance, and I got a cute, cheesy romance. I love it. I am so excited for the movie that comes out this year. I think the casting is perfect. I actually wanted to read this book because I saw all of Lily Reinhart's posts about the movie, and I was like, I love her, and this movie seems really good, but I want to read the book first. Read the book, obsessed. Casting is perfect. I cannot wait to see this movie. And then also, it got me on my Ali Hazelwood kick. I love Ali Hazelwood's writing. It's so good. It's so fun. I love her. I need to read everything she's ever written, but also, that girl churns out books. Like, I don't know if I'll ever be able to catch up, but I'm trying. The next book that I read was finally Terms and Conditions, the second book in the Dreamland Billionaire series. This book, it took me 200 pages to like Declan. I'm not gonna lie to you. For the first 200 pages of this book, I was not the biggest fan of Declan. I was like, he's kind of awful. I think it was like exactly page 200. It just clicked. He started changing, the character development started, and when I tell you, I fell, and I fell hard. I love Declan. I really do. After that, I read my next Ali Hazelwood book, which was Check and Mate, another controversial Ali Hazelwood book. I don't know if every Ali Hazelwood book is just controversial, or if I just keep happening to pick up the ones that people don't necessarily like that much. This book, maybe I'm just easily entertained, but when I tell you, I ate this book up. I was obsessed with this, and so much so, I have never in my life played chess. Never in my life have I played chess. Guess who has like developed a chess addiction after this? Me. My family has a chessboard in our living room. I've never touched it. Like, I've never played it. But I literally, once I finished this book, I made my dad teach me how to play chess, and I've been making everybody in my family play chess with me. I have a chess app on my phone. I've been playing it on my computer. I've been playing it like physically. Like, I don't know. This book, again, I went 22 years, never once interested in chess. But then I read this book, and I was like, I need to learn how to play chess immediately. She just made it seem so fun. Nolan, possibly one of my favorite book boyfriends ever. I really love him. I do. This book had so many good quotes. The references in this book, I know that's another thing that a lot of people didn't like, where they're like, there's too many pop culture references, whatever. But as a pop culture fan, this is perfect. It referenced so many of my favorite things, like Marvel, BTS, Hunger Games, Taylor Swift, like so many of my favorite actors. Like, this was just like written for me, I fear. Even if nobody else likes it, Check and Mate will always be special to me. And then the last book that I read in 2025, you already know, was The Final Offer. This is the last book in the Dreamland Billionaire series. It follows Cal and Alana. It is a second chance romance. And I was a little worried about this book just because I feel like everybody who I've seen talk about in the series and everybody on my Booksta account who I talked to about the Dreamland Billionaire series, all of them said that this one was like their least favorite. They liked Declan and Rowan more than they liked Cal. And I was like, okay, but like, you know, I listened, but I was like, I'm not gonna let that affect my reading. This one ended up being my favorite. This is my favorite book in the series. Something that I really love about Lauren Asher and this series in particular is that she writes about characters with issues or with like things going on that I have not read about before. So in the second book, in Terms and Conditions, the main character, the main female character, has dyslexia. And I've never read about a character with dyslexia before, which I thought that was really cool to see that representation. And like, I knew about different struggles people with dyslexia have, but this book, like, that really opened my eyes to like way more than I even knew. So that was really nice. And then in this book, Cal, the main guy character in this, he struggles with alcoholism, and this book follows his journey to like recovery and sobriety, and I just think that it is written so well and so beautifully. And I let me tell you, from page one, not even from page one, because he's mentioned a lot in the second book, from the second book, I have been rooting for him so hard. Like, I just, don't get me wrong, like there was moments where he like annoyed me and frustrated me, as there's gonna be, like, obviously. But when I tell you, I was just rooting so hard for him, like for his sobriety, but also for him and Alana. I just, like, I love the first and second books so much. I really do. But there's just something about this one that I just think is so special, and I loved it so much. And I think everybody needs to read this series, especially this book. And the ending, I just think it tied together. Like, I can't, oh my god, I literally can't stop smiling even just talking about this series. This is how like crazy this book made me. But I think that the ending of this book tied together the whole series and like finished it off so well. But that is every book that I read in 2025. I'm very proud of my 15 books. Okay, again, I went 4 months without touching a single book, but I'm so back. I love all of these so much, and my reading goal for 2026 is 24 books. So little over this year, but I think without skipping 4 months, I could do it. That's 2 books a month. Like, I got this. So we will see. We will compare this one to my 2026 reading wrap up, but I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. I'm very glad that you are here, and I will see you very, very soon in my next video. Bye, guys.